Hello, my friend. I'm Jack Ma, and I'm really happy you are here today. Before we begin, I want to ask you a simple question. When you need to speak English in everyday life, do the right words come to you easily? Really take a moment and think about it. Maybe you understand many English words. Maybe you can read simple sentences. Maybe you watch English videos, listen to lessons, and repeat phrases again and again. But when someone talks to you in a real situation, maybe your mind becomes quiet. Maybe you know the meaning, but you do not know how to answer naturally. Maybe you want to say something simple, like asking for help, ordering food, greeting someone, or talking about your day. But suddenly, the sentence feels difficult. And my friend, if this happens to you, please do not feel bad. This is very normal. Many English learners know grammar rules, but they still struggle with simple daily conversations. They can understand lessons, but they cannot always use English quickly in real life. They know many words, but they do not always know how to put those words together in a natural way. And sometimes, the problem is not that your English is weak. The problem is that you have not practiced enough real dialogues from everyday situations. So today, we are going to practice simple and natural English dialogues that you can use in daily life. We will practice the kind of English people use when they meet someone. Ask a question, buy something, talk on the phone, ask for directions, make small talk, apologize, thank someone, and explain simple things. These are not difficult sentences. These are not long, heavy grammar lessons. These are real, useful, natural sentences that can help you speak more comfortably in normal, everyday moments. Maybe you are waiting until your English becomes perfect before you start speaking. Maybe you think, first I need more vocabulary. First I need better grammar. First I need to understand everything. But my friend, real speaking does not begin after you become perfect. Real speaking begins when you start using the simple English you already know. You do not need perfect English to say, "Could you help me, please?" You do not need advanced grammar to say, "I'm looking for the nearest bus stop." You do not need difficult vocabulary to say, "I had a busy day, but I'm feeling good now." These small sentences are powerful because they help you communicate. Now, I want you to imagine a simple moment. You walk into a small cafe. The person at the counter smiles and says, "Hi, what would you like?" You understand the question. You know you want tea or coffee, but your mind starts searching for the correct words. You feel nervous. You worry about making a mistake. You pause for too long. Then you say only one or two words. But now imagine something different. Imagine you have practiced this situation before. You smile and say, "Hi, I'd like a cup of tea, please." Then the person asks, "Anything else?" And you say, "No, that's all. Thank you." Simple, natural, clear. That is the kind of confidence we are going to build today. We will not only listen to dialogues, we will also practice them slowly, step by step. I want you to repeat useful lines out loud. I want you to feel how simple English sounds in your mouth. I want you to notice the rhythm of natural conversation. When one person says something, how does the other person answer? When someone asks a question, what is a simple, natural reply? When you do not understand, how can you ask again politely? When you want to sound friendly, what short phrases can you use? These small things make your English sound more real. And remember this important idea. Conversation is not about using big words. Conversation is about connection. If you can greet someone, ask a simple question, answer clearly, and continue the conversation with confidence, you are already using English in a meaningful way. You do not need to sound like a textbook. You need to sound clear, polite, and natural. That is why daily dialogue practice is so helpful. It trains your brain to respond faster. It trains your mouth to speak more smoothly. And it trains your confidence to become stronger one sentence at a time. So stay with me today, my friend. Listen slowly. Breathe calmly. Repeat the sentences when I ask you to repeat. Do not worry if your voice is not perfect. Do not worry if you make a small mistake. Today is not a test. Today is practice. We are going to build your English-speaking confidence with simple, natural dialogues that you can use in real life. And by the end of this lesson, I want you to feel one thing clearly. English conversation can be simple. English conversation can be natural. And with daily practice, English conversation can become part of your everyday life. Now let's begin with one of the most common moments in everyday English. Meeting someone and starting a simple conversation. Many learners think conversation must be long, fast, or full of advanced words. But real English often begins with very small lines. A smile, a greeting, a simple question, and a short answer can start a natural conversation. For example, when you meet someone in the morning, you can say, "Good morning, how are you today?" And the other person may say, "I'm good, thank you. How about you?" Then you can answer, "I'm doing well, thanks." This is simple, but it is very useful. You do not need to say something difficult. You just need to answer clearly and politely. Repeat after me. Good morning, how are you today? Again, good morning. How are you today? Now repeat, I'm good, thank you. How about you again? I'm good, thank you. How about you? Good. These simple lines can help you feel ready when you meet someone at work, at school, in your neighborhood, or even online. Let's make this dialogue more natural. Imagine you meet a person you already know, maybe a neighbor or a coworker. You do not need to speak for 5 minutes. You can keep it short and friendly. You can say, "Hi, it's nice to see you." The other person can say, "Nice to see you too. How have you been?" You can answer, "I've been good, just busy with work." This is a very natural answer because many people talk about being busy. If you want to sound more relaxed, you can say, "I've been good, just taking things one day at a time." This phrase sounds calm and natural. It means you are managing your life step by step. Repeat after me. Hi, it's nice to see you. Again. Hi, it's nice to see you. Now repeat. I've been good, just busy with work. Again. I've been good, just busy with work. Now, try this one. I've been good, just taking things one day at a time. Good. Say it slowly and let the sentence feel comfortable in your mouth. Now let's practice a small dialogue that you can use when you meet someone for the first time. The first meeting can feel scary for English learners because you may not know what to say next. But you only need a few simple lines. One person says, "Hi, I'm Alex. What's your name?" The other person says, "Hi, I'm Sam. It's nice to meet you." Then the first person says, "Nice to meet you too." This is one of the easiest and most important everyday dialogues. You can use it at a class, at a meeting, at a job, at an event, or when someone introduces you to another person. Now repeat after me. Hi, I'm Alex. What's your name? Again. Hi, I'm Alex. What's your name? Now repeat. Hi, I'm Sam. It's nice to meet you. Again. Hi, I'm Sam. It's nice to meet you. Now repeat. Nice to meet you too. Very good. These lines are short, but they give you a strong beginning. After you introduce yourself, the next question is often about where someone is from, what they do, or how their day is going. But you do not need to ask too many questions at once. Natural conversation is like walking slowly, not running. You ask one question, listen to the answer, and then reply. For example, you can say, Where are you from? The other person may say, I'm from Canada. Then you can say, oh, that's nice. I've heard it's a beautiful place. This answer is friendly because it shows interest. Or if someone asks you, where are you from? You can answer, I'm from Pakistan. Then you can add one simple extra sentence, like, it's a beautiful country with friendly people. Adding one extra sentence helps the conversation continue. Repeat after me. Where are you from? Again. Where are you from? Now repeat. I'm from Pakistan. Again. I'm from Pakistan. Now repeat. It's a beautiful country with friendly people. Good. Try to speak calmly and clearly. Let's practice another common question. What do you do? This question usually means, what is your job? You can answer in a simple way. You can say, I'm a student, or I work in a shop, or I work online, or I'm learning English right now. If you do not want to give too much detail, you can keep your answer simple. For example, someone asks, what do you do? You answer, I work in customer service. Then you can add, it keeps me busy, but I enjoy it. If you are a student, you can say, I'm a student. I'm studying business. If you work at home, you can say, I work from home. Most of my work is online. These are simple and natural answers. Repeat after me. What do you do? Again. What do you do? Now repeat. I work from home. Again. I work from home. Now repeat. Most of my work is online. Again. Most of my work is online. Good. Remember, you do not need a perfect answer. You need a clear answer. Now let's move to a very common everyday situation. Asking how someone's day is going. This is a small question, but it is used all the time. Someone may ask, how's your day going? You can answer, it's going well, thank you. Or you can say, it's been a little busy, but it's okay. If your day is not good, you can still answer politely. You can say, it's been a long day, but I'm managing. This sounds natural and honest without being too negative. Let's practice a short dialogue. One person says, how's your day going? The other person says, it's been busy, but good. How about yours? The first person says, mine has been good too. Thanks for asking. This is a simple daily conversation, but it sounds real. Repeat after me. How's your day going? Again, how's your day going? Now repeat. It's been busy, but good. How about yours? Again, it's been busy, but good. How about yours? Now repeat. Mine has been good too. Thanks for asking. Very good. Sometimes you may not understand what someone says in a conversation. This is normal. Even as advanced learners sometimes miss words. The important thing is to know how to ask politely. Do not panic. Do not stay silent. Use a simple sentence. You can say, sorry, could you say that again? Or, sorry, I didn't catch that. Or, could you speak a little more slowly, please? These sentences are very important because they help you stay in the conversation. Imagine someone says something quickly and you do not understand. You can smile and say, sorry. Could you repeat that? This is polite and natural. Repeat after me. Sorry, could you say that again? Again. Sorry, could you say that again? Now repeat. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Again. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Now repeat. Could you speak a little more slowly, please? Good. These sentences can save you in many real situations. Let's practice a full small conversation now. Imagine you meet someone at a language class. You say, hi, I'm Jack. Is this your first class here? The other person says, yes, it is. I'm a little nervous. You say, don't worry, I'm new too. The other person says, that makes me feel better. You say, great, maybe we can practice together. The Dallas dialogue is simple, friendly, and useful. It shows how people connect through small, honest sentences. Now repeat the full answer slowly. Hi, I'm Jack. Is this your first class here? Again, hi, I'm Jack. Is this your first class here? Now repeat. Don't worry. I'm new too. Again. Don't worry. I'm new too. Now repeat. Maybe we can practice together. Again. Maybe we can practice together. Good. When you practice dialogues like this, you are not only learning words, you are training yourself to respond in a real moment. Now let's practice another situation. Talking to a neighbor. This is a very common everyday conversation. You may meet your neighbor outside your home, near the door, in the elevator, or on the street. You can say, "Good evening. How are you?" Your neighbor may say, "I'm fine, thank you. How are you?" You can say, "I'm good. It's a nice evening, isn't it?" This kind of small talk is very common. People often talk about the weather, the day, or something simple around them. You can say, "It's a bit hot today," or "The weather is really nice today," or "It looks like it might rain." These small sentences help you sound natural. Repeat after me. It's a nice evening, isn't it? Again. It's a nice evening, isn't it? Now repeat. The weather is really nice today. Again. The weather is really nice today. Now repeat. It looks like it might rain. Good. These are simple lines, but they can start a friendly conversation. Now I want you to practice speaking about your own day. This is one of the best ways to build natural English. You can start with one simple sentence. Today was a normal day. Then add one more sentence. I woke up early and had breakfast. Then add another sentence. After that, I started my work. You see, you do not need complicated grammar. You just need to connect simple actions. Try this with me. Repeat after me. Today was a normal day. Again, today was a normal day. Now repeat. I woke up early and had breakfast. Again. I woke up early and had breakfast. Now repeat. After that, I started my work. Again. After that, I started my work. Now say the full answer slowly. Today was a normal day. I woke up early and had breakfast. After that, I started my work. Good. This is how simple English becomes real speaking practice. Before we continue, remember this important point. Everyday English is not about impressing people with big words. It is about making small moments easier. When you can greet someone, introduce yourself, ask a simple question, answer naturally, and ask someone to repeat something politely, you already have useful conversation power. These small dialogues may look easy when you read them, but they become powerful when you speak them again and again. So do not only listen today. Use your voice. Repeat the lines. Imagine the situations. Feel the rhythm. So, the more you practice these everyday dialogues, the more your English will feel like something you can actually use, not only something you study. Now let's move into another everyday situation that many English learners need. Ordering food or drinks. This is one of the most useful types of dialogue because it happens in cafes, restaurants, hotels, airports, shopping malls, and many public places. The good news is that you do not need many words to order something clearly. You can use simple and polite sentences. For example, when the person at the counter asks, "What would you like?" you can say, "I'd like a cup of coffee, please." If you want tea, you can say, "I'd like a cup of tea, please." If you want food, you can say, "I'd like a chicken sandwich, please." The phrase "I'd like" is very natural and polite. It sounds better than only saying coffee. Give me coffee. Repeat after me. I'd like a cup of coffee, please. Again. I'd like a cup of coffee, please. Now repeat. I'd like a chicken sandwich, please. Again. I'd like a chicken sandwich, please. Good. Speak slowly and let your voice stay relaxed. Sometimes the person may ask you another question after you order. They may say anything else. This means, "Do you want one more thing?" You can answer, no, that's all, thank you. Or you can say, yes, I'd also like a bottle of water. These are simple answers, but they are very useful. Let's practice a short dialogue. The worker says, hi, what would you like? You say, I'd like a cup of tea, please. The worker says, anything else? You say, no, that's all, thank you. The worker says, for here or to go? You say, for here, please. Or if you want to take it with you, you can say, to go, please. Repeat after me. No, that's all, thank you. Again. No, that's all, thank you. Now repeat, for here, please. Again, for here, please. Now repeat, to go, please. Very good. These small lines can make ordering food much easier. Now let's talk about asking the price. This is very common when you are shopping or buying something. You can ask, how much is this? If you are holding one item, use this. If you are asking about something far from you, you can say, how much is that? If you are asking about many things, you can say, how much are these? For example, in a shop, you can say, excuse me, how much is this shirt? The worker may say, it's $20. You can answer, okay, thank you. If you think the price is too high, you can politely say, I'll think about it, thank you. This is a natural way to leave without buying. Repeat after me. Excuse me, how much is this shirt? Again. Excuse me, how much is this shirt? Now repeat. I'll think about it, thank you. Again. I'll think about it, thank you. Good. This phrase is very helpful because it sounds polite and natural. Shopping dialogues are also useful when you need a different size, color, or item. You can say, do you have this in a larger size? Or do you have this in a smaller size? Or do you have this in black? These sentences are very common. Imagine you are buying shoes. You can say, excuse me, do you have these in size 9? The worker may say, let me check for you. You can answer, thank you. If the worker brings the shoes, you can say, can I try them on? This means you want to wear them for a moment to see if they fit. Repeat after me. Do you have this in a larger size? Again. Do you have this in a larger size? Now repeat. Do you have these in size 9? Again. Do you have these in size 9? Now repeat. Can I try them on? Good. These lines are simple, but they help you handle a real shopping situation with more confidence. Now let's practice asking for help in a store. Sometimes you cannot find something. Instead of walking around quietly and feeling confused, you can ask a simple question. You can say, excuse me, where can I find the milk? Or, excuse me, where can I find the notebooks? The worker may say, they're in aisle 3. You can answer, thank you so much. If you do not understand the answer, you can say, sorry, could you show me? This is polite and clear. Let's practice. Repeat after me. Excuse me, where can I find the milk? Again. Excuse me, where can I find the milk? Now repeat. They're in aisle 3. Again. They're in aisle 3. Now repeat. Sorry, could you show me? Again. Sorry, could you show me? Very good. Remember, asking for help is not a weakness. It is a normal part of communication. Now let's move to another important everyday situation. Asking for directions. Many learners feel nervous about this because the answer can be fast. But first, you only need to learn how to ask clearly. You can say, excuse me, how do I get to the train station? Or, excuse me, where is the nearest bus stop? Or, is there a pharmacy near here? These are useful questions. The other person may say, go straight, then turn left. Or, it's across the street. Or, it's next to the bank. These words are common in directions. Repeat after me. Where is the nearest bus stop? Again. Where is the nearest bus stop? Now repeat. Is there a pharmacy near here? Again. Is there a pharmacy near here? Now repeat. Go straight, then turn left. Again. Go straight, then turn left. Good. Do not worry if you do not understand every word. You can always ask again. Let's practice a full direction dialogue. You say, "Excuse me, could you help me?" The person says, "Sure, what do you need?" You say, "I'm looking for the nearest bus stop." The person says, "Go straight for 2 minutes, then turn right. It's near the bank." You say, "Thank you. Is it far from here?" The person says, "No, it's very close." You say, "Thanks for your help." This is a complete and natural conversation. Repeat after me. "Excuse me, could you help me?" Again. "Excuse me, could you help me?" Now repeat. "I'm looking for the nearest bus stop." Again. "I'm looking for the nearest bus stop." Now repeat. "Is it far from here?" Again. "Is it far from here?" Now repeat. "Thanks for your help." Good. These lines are practical because you can use them in many places. Now let's talk about phone conversations. Speaking on the phone can feel more difficult than speaking face to face because you cannot see the other person's expression. But simple phone English can help you feel more ready. When you answer the phone, you can say, "Hello, this is Jack speaking." If you are calling someone, you can say, "Hi, may I speak to Sarah, please?" If the person is not available, you may hear, "Sorry, she's not here right now." Then you can say, "Could you ask her to call me back?" This is a very useful sentence. Repeat after me. "Hello, this is Jack speaking." Again. "Hello, this is Jack speaking." Now repeat. "May I speak to Sarah, please?" Again. "May I speak to Sarah, please?" Now repeat. "Could you ask her to call me back?" Again. "Could you ask her to call me back?" Good. Speak clearly on the phone and do not rush your words. Sometimes you need to make an appointment on the phone. You can say, "I'd like to make an appointment, please." The person may ask, "What day works for you?" You can answer, "Monday works for me." Or, "Do you have anything available on Friday?" The person may say, "We have an opening at 3 o'clock." You can answer, "That works for me, thank you." This kind of English is useful for doctors, offices, salons, meetings, and many other situations. Repeat after me. "I'd like to make an appointment, please." Again. "I'd like to make an appointment, please." Now repeat. "Do you have anything available on Friday?" Again. "Do you have anything available on Friday?" Now repeat. "That works for me, thank you." Very good. This sounds natural and polite. Now let's practice polite requests. A request is when you ask someone to do something for you. In English, polite requests are very important. Instead of saying, "Open the door," you can say, "Could you open the door, please?" Instead of saying, "Help me," you can say, "Could you help me, please?" Instead of saying, "Speak slowly," you can say, "Could you speak a little more slowly, please?" The words "could you" make your request softer and more polite. Repeat after me. "Could you help me, please?" Again. "Could you help me, please?" Now repeat. "Could you open the door, please?" Again. "Could you open the door, please?" Now repeat. "Could you speak a little more slowly, please?" Good. These sentences are very powerful because they help you sound respectful in many situations. Now let's practice saying thank you in different natural ways. Many learners only say thank you, and that is perfectly good. But you can also say thank you so much. You can say appreciate. I really appreciate it. You can say thanks for your help. You can say that's very kind of you. These phrases are useful when someone helps you, gives you directions, explains something, or does something nice for you. Let's practice a short dialogue. Someone says, "Here, let me help you with that." You say, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it." The person says, "No problem." You say, "That's very kind of you." Repeat after me. "Thank you so much." Again. "Thank you so much." Now repeat. "I really appreciate it." Again. "I really appreciate it." Now repeat. That's very kind of you. Good. These small phrases help your English sound warmer and more natural. Now, let's bring everything together with one everyday practice. Imagine you are outside and you need to buy something, ask for help, and speak politely. You walk into a small store and say, "Excuse me, could you help me?" The worker says, "Sure. What are you looking for?" You say, "I'm looking for a notebook." The worker says, "They're in aisle 2, next to the pens." You say, "Thank you. Also, how much is this one?" The worker says, "It's $5. You say, "Okay, I'll take it." The worker says, "Anything else?" You say, "No, that's all. Thank you." This is simple English, but it is real English. It helps you move through daily life with confidence. Practice the full answers slowly. "Excuse me, could you help me?" "I'm looking for a notebook. How much is this one?" "Okay, I'll take it." "No, that's all. Thank you." Good. Say it again later by yourself and imagine the real situation. The more you practice these small daily dialogues, the easier English will feel. You will not need to translate every word in your mind. You will start remembering useful chunks like, "I'd like," "Could you help me?" "Where can I find?" "How much is?" "I'm looking for," and "that works for me." These chunks are important because native speakers and confident English speakers do not build every sentence slowly from zero. They use common phrases again and again in real situations. So your job is not only to learn words. Your job is to collect useful sentences, repeat them, and use them until they feel natural. Every time you practice one small dialogue, you are preparing yourself for a real moment. And one day, when that moment comes, your mouth will already know what to say. Now let's continue with another important part of everyday English. Apologizing, explaining small problems, and responding politely. These moments happen often in real life. Maybe you arrive late. Maybe you forget something. Maybe you make a small mistake. Maybe you do not hear someone clearly. In these situations, English does not need to be complicated. You just need a few natural sentences. You can say, "I'm sorry I'm late." You can say, "Sorry about that." You can say, "It was my mistake." Or you can say, "No worries, it's okay," when someone apologizes to you. These lines are very common and very useful. Repeat after me, "I'm sorry I'm late." Again, "I'm sorry I'm late." Now repeat, "Sorry about that." Again, "Sorry about that." Now repeat, "No worries, it's okay." Good. Notice how these short sentences make the conversation softer and more comfortable. Let's practice a simple dialogue with a small mistake. One person says, "I'm sorry I'm late." The other person says, "No worries, I just got here too." The first person says, "Thank you for waiting." The other person says, "Of course, it's okay." This is a natural everyday dialogue. It is polite, calm, and friendly. You can use it when you meet a friend, arrive late to class, or join a meeting a few minutes late. Now repeat after me. "Thank you for waiting." Again, "Thank you for waiting." Now repeat, "I just got here too." Again, "I just got here too." Now repeat, "Of course, it's okay." Very good. When you practice apology dialogues, you learn how to keep small problems from becoming stressful. Now let's practice another useful situation. Making plans with someone. In everyday life, people often ask, "Are you free today, or do you want to meet later?" You can answer in simple ways. If you are free, you can say, "Yes, I'm free after work." If you are busy, you can say, "Sorry, I'm busy today, but maybe tomorrow." If you are not sure, you can say, "Let me check my schedule." These answers are natural and polite. Repeat after me. "Are you free today?" Again. "Are you free today?" Now repeat. "I'm free after work." Again. "I'm free after work." Now repeat. "Let's check my schedule and let me check my schedule. Good. These lines help you make plans without pressure. Let's make a full planning dialogue. Your friend says, "Do you want to get coffee later?" You say, "That sounds nice. What time?" Your friend says, "How about 6 o'clock?" You say, "6 works for me." Your friend says, "Great. See you then." You say, "See you then." This dialogue is short, but it sounds very natural. The phrase, "That sounds nice," is very useful because it shows interest. The phrase, "6 works for me," means 6 o'clock is a good time for you. Repeat after me. That sounds nice. Again, that sounds nice. Now repeat, what time? Again, what time? Now repeat. 6 works for me. Again, 6 works for me. Now repeat. See you then. Good. These simple phrases help your English sound smooth and friendly. Sometimes you need to say no politely. This is very important because many learners feel uncomfortable saying no in English. But you can say no in a kind way. You can say, "Sorry, I can't today." You can say, maybe another time." You can say, "I'd love to, but I'm busy." This last phrase is very natural. It means you like the idea, but you cannot do it right now. For example, someone says, "Do you want to come with us?" You can answer, "I'd love to, but I'm busy today. Maybe next time." This sounds polite and friendly. Repeat after me. "Sorry, I can't today." Again, "Sorry, I can't today." Now repeat, "Maybe another time." Again, "Maybe another time." Now repeat, "I'd love to, but I'm busy today." Very good. Saying no politely is also part of confident English. Now let's practice talking about feelings in simple English. Everyday conversation often includes small feelings, not deep speeches. You can say, "I'm tired today." You can say, "I'm feeling better now." You can say, "I'm a little nervous." You can say, "I'm excited tomorrow." These sentences help you express yourself clearly. If someone asks, "Are you okay?" you can say, "Yes, I'm okay. I'm just a little tired." Or you can say, "I'm fine. Thanks for asking." Repeat after me. "I'm a little tired today." Again, "I'm a little tired today." Now repeat. "I'm feeling better now." Again, "I'm feeling better now." Now repeat. "I'm fine. Thanks for asking." Good. When you can talk about your feelings simply, conversations become more real. Let's practice a small dialogue about feeling nervous. One person says, "You look nervous. Are you okay?" The other person says, "Yes, I'm okay. I have a meeting today." The first person says, "Don't worry, you'll do well." The other person says, "Thank you. That makes me feel better." This kind of dialogue is useful because it teaches you how to give and receive encouragement. Repeat after me. "You look nervous. Are you okay?" Again, "You look nervous. Are you okay?" Now repeat, "I have a meeting today." Again, "I have a meeting today." Now repeat, "You'll do well." Again, "You'll do well." Now repeat, "That makes me feel better." Very good. These phrases are simple, but they carry emotion and connection. Now let's move to talking about daily routines. This is one of the easiest ways to practice English every day because you can talk about things you already do. You can say, "I wake up early." You can say, "I make breakfast." You can say, "I go to work." You can say, "I come home in the evening." Then you can connect the sentences with simple words like then, after that, and later. For example, I wake up early. Then I make breakfast. After that, I start my work. Later, I take a short break. This is simple, but it sounds like real speaking. Repeat after me. I wake up early. Then I make breakfast. Again, I wake up early. Then I make breakfast. Now repeat. After that, I start my work. Later, I take a short break. Good. This is how you build longer speaking from small sentences. Now try to answer this question in your own life. What do you usually do in the morning? You can answer like this. In the morning, I usually wake up, wash my face, and have breakfast. Then I check my phone and get ready for the day. This answer is natural because it uses simple daily actions. You can change the words for your own routine. Maybe you pray, exercise, study, go to work, take care of your family, or prepare tea. English becomes easier when you connect it to your real life. Repeat after me. In the morning, I usually wake up and have breakfast. Again. In the morning, I usually wake up and have breakfast. Now repeat, then I get ready for the day. Again. Then I get ready for the day. Good. Say it slowly and imagine your own morning. Now let's practice ending a conversation naturally. Many learners know how to start talking, but they do not know how to finish politely. You can say, "It was nice talking to you." You can say, "I have to go now." You can say, "See you later." You can say, "Take care." These phrases are very common. For example, you meet someone and talk for a short time. When you need to leave, you can say, "It was nice talking to you, but I have to go now." The other person may say, "No problem. See you later." You can answer, "See you later. Take care." Repeat after me, "It was nice talking to you." Again, "It was nice talking to you." Now repeat, "I have to go now." Again, "I have to go now." Now repeat, "See you later. Take care." Very good. Ending a conversation politely helps you sound natural and respectful. Now let's bring many of today's ideas together in one final everyday dialogue practice. Imagine you meet a friend outside a small shop. Your friend says, "Hey, how's your day going?" You say, "It's going well, thanks. I'm just a little busy." Your friend says, "Do you want to get coffee later?" You say, "That sounds nice. What time?" Your friend says, "How about 6?" You say, "6 works for me." Then your friend says, "Great, I'll see you then." You say, "See you then. Take care." This dialogue includes greeting, talking about your day, making a plan, and ending politely. It is simple, but it is complete. Practice it slowly. "It's going well, thanks. I'm just a little busy. That sounds nice. What time?" 6 works for me. See you then. Take care. Good. Say it again later without reading, and see how much you remember. My friend, the secret to speaking English naturally is not learning 1,000 difficult sentences in one day. The secret is practicing simple, useful sentences again and again until they become easy. Real life gives you many small speaking moments. You greet someone. You ask for help. You order food. You buy something. You make a plan. You say sorry. You say thank you. You explain your day. You end a conversation politely. These are the moments that build real confidence. So keep practicing these dialogues with your voice. Do not only read them in your mind. Speak them slowly. Repeat them clearly. Imagine the real situation. And little by little, your English will become more natural, more confident, and more useful in your everyday life. Now, let's practice one more powerful everyday skill. Keeping a conversation going with simple follow-up questions. Many learners can answer one question, but after that, the conversation stops. This happens because they do not know what to ask next. But in natural English, you do not need difficult questions. You can use small follow-up questions like, "How about you?" "What about you?" "Really? Why is that?" "How was it?" And "Did you enjoy it?" These short questions help the other person keep talking, and they also give you more time to think. For example, if someone says, "I had a busy day," you can say, "Really? What happened?" If someone says, "I went to a restaurant yesterday," you can say, "How was it?" If someone says, "I like learning English," you can say, "What do you enjoy about it?" These questions are simple, but they make your conversation feel alive. Repeat after me. "How about you?" Again, "How about you?" Now repeat. How was it? How was it? Now repeat. Did you enjoy it? Good. These small questions can help you sound more natural in everyday English. Let's practice a simple conversation about the weekend. Someone asks, "How was your weekend?" You can say, "It was good. I stayed home and relaxed." Then you can ask, "How about you?" The other person says, "I went shopping with my family." You can answer, "That sounds nice. Did you enjoy it?" This is a very natural conversation. Notice that you are not using hard English. You are only using simple sentences in a friendly way. Repeat after me. It was good. I stayed home and relaxed. Again, it was good. I stayed home and relaxed. Now repeat. That sounds nice. Did you enjoy it? Again, that sounds nice. Did you enjoy it? Good. When you ask follow-up questions, people feel that you are listening, and the conversation becomes easier. Now let's practice talking about small problems in daily life. You may need to say that you are late, tired, busy, confused, or not feeling well. Simple English is enough. You can say, "I'm sorry, I'm running late." This means you will arrive late. You can say, "I'm not feeling very well today." You can say, "I'm a little confused. Could you explain that again?" You can say, "I have a lot to do today." These sentences are useful because real life is not always perfect. Repeat after me. I'm sorry, I'm running late. Again, I'm sorry, I'm running late. Now repeat, I'm not feeling very well today. Again, I'm not feeling very well today. Now repeat, I'm a little confused. Could you explain that again? Very good. These lines help you speak honestly and politely without using difficult words. Now imagine you are talking to someone at work or in class. They explain something, but you do not understand everything. You can say, "I understand the first part, but I'm not sure about the second part." This is a very useful sentence because it shows that you understand something, but you still need help. You can also say, "Could you give me an example?" Or, "Could you write that down for me?" Let's practice. Repeat after me. I understand the first part, but I'm not sure about the second part. Again. I understand the first part, but I'm not sure about the second part. Now repeat. Could you give me an example? Again. Could you give me an example? Now repeat. Could you write that down for me? Good. These phrases can help you in learning, working, traveling, and many real conversations. Now let's practice a useful home conversation. Maybe you live with family, friends, or roommates. You may need simple sentences like, "Can you turn down the volume, please? Could you pass me the salt? I'll clean this later. Do you need any help?" Or, "Dinner is ready." These are small daily sentences, but they are very important. Let's practice a short dialogue. One person says, "Do you need any help?" The other person says, "Yes, could you set table, please?" The first person says, "Sure, no problem." The other person says, "Thank you. Dinner will be ready soon." Repeat after me. Do you need any help? Again, do you need any help? Now repeat. Could you set the table, please? Again, could you set the table, please? Now repeat. Sure, no problem. Good. This is natural English for home and family life. Now let's practice talking about opinions in a simple way. Sometimes someone may ask, "What do you think?" You do not need to give a long answer. You can say, "I think it's a good idea." You can say, "I'm not sure yet." You can say, "I agree with you." You can say, "I see your point, but I think differently." This last sentence is useful when you want to disagree politely. Repeat after me. I think it's a good idea. Again, I think it's a good idea. Now repeat. I'm not sure yet. Again, I'm not sure yet. Now repeat. I see your point, but I think differently. Very good. Speaking English naturally also means sharing your thoughts in a simple and respectful way. Now, let's finish this practice with one longer everyday conversation that includes many things we learned today. Imagine two people meet after class. One person says, "Hi, how are you doing today?" The other person says, "I'm doing well, thank you. I'm just a little tired." The first person says, "Really? Did you have a busy day?" The other person says, "Yes, I had a lot to do, but I'm feeling better now." The first person says, "That's good. Do you want to get some coffee?" The other person says, "That sounds nice. What time?" The first person says, "How about 5?" The other person says, "5 works for me." The first person says, "Great, I'll see you then." The other person says, "See you then." Now practice these useful lines slowly. "I'm doing well, thank you. I'm just a little tired." "Did you have a busy day?" "I had a lot to do, but I'm feeling better now." "That sounds nice." "What time?" "5 works for me. See you then." Now take a moment and notice what happened in this conversation. The words were simple, but the conversation felt natural. There was a greeting. There was a feeling. There was a follow-up question. There was a small plan. There was a polite ending. This is exactly how everyday English works. You do not need to wait until you know every grammar rule. You do not need to wait until you have perfect pronunciation. You can begin with simple dialogues and repeat them until they feel easy. When you practice these sentences every day, your brain starts to remember patterns. Your mouth starts to move more smoothly. Your confidence starts to grow quietly. And when real life gives you a chance to speak, you will not feel completely lost because you have already practiced the moment before. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of this lesson, my friend. I'm really proud of you for practicing these simple and natural English dialogues with me today. Remember, English conversation does not have to feel scary. You do not need to use big words. You do not need to speak perfectly. You only need to start with small, useful sentences that help you communicate in real, everyday situations. When you can greet someone, ask for help, order food, make plans, say sorry, say thank you, talk about your day, and answer simple questions, you are already building real speaking confidence. So, after this lesson, do not just forget these dialogues. Practice them again. Choose one small situation from today's lesson and say the sentences out loud. Maybe practice ordering coffee. Maybe practice asking for directions. Maybe practice introducing yourself. Maybe practice saying, "Could you say that again, please?" These small lines may look simple, but when you repeat them every day, they become part of your natural English. Your mouth becomes more comfortable. Your mind becomes faster. And little by little, you begin to feel that English is not only something you study. English is something you can use. If this lesson helped you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and come back for more daily English practice. Keep learning slowly. Keep practicing calmly. Keep speaking, even if your sentences are not perfect yet. Every small practice moment is helping you grow. I'm Jack Ma, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep using English in your everyday life.